Okay, well, thank you. We're really excited to talk about a new resource available to all Care Patrol franchisees. My name is Ben Rayo. I am a co-founder at Mom's House, and Mom's House is a tool that's going to be able to help you to help more families and get more placements with the families that you're already working with. So this is going to be a great option for you as you have a family that's evaluating going into assisted living or memory care or skilled nursing. We built the company all about daughter Judy. We know that the adult children have a lot of stress in their life. And so everything foundationally from the ground up is built about how do we give empowerment or help the families to solve one of their biggest challenges. And that's to try to reduce that stress and find the right care for mom. That's why we enjoy the partnership with Care Patrol, have worked with many of your people all over the United States. And over the years have, known Becky and Chuck for years as well. And so I'm just really excited to be rolling this out with you guys. We look at ourselves as we're part of the sales process in senior living. So you've got that flashpoint where the kids get the news and that mom can't go home. She's fallen for the second time and she's going to be discharged, but she's not going to be able to go home. And then that's typically when they're finding you guys, because they're trying to figure out what is the right care for mom. How do we get her out of isolation? How do we get her into a community where she's, meds are being taken on time. She's got companionship. She's got the things that she needs around her to keep her safe. And what we're going to show you today is going to help you to do that quicker. I mean, quicker. It could be weeks, or it could be months quicker. So we're very in tune with what's happening with the family, the emotional stress, everything that's going on in that crisis moment. We're also very aware that many times the families don't live where mom lives. We call it Mom's House because dad always passes away first, right? It's almost always the case. And so, and if mom passes first, what are we going to do with Mom's House? So, and if you noticed our logo in the middle of it, our logo is made out of cross stitch because, every one of these houses that mom lives in, it's got cross stitch all over the walls. And so that family living 6+ hours away and they're getting this news, now they're struggling to figure out what are we going to do with mom and what are we going to do with all the house and all the stuff. And this is where they get that first taste of how expensive it is to go into senior living. Nobody wants to take a healthy mom to senior living. These conversations aren't happening. I wrote a Amazon best-selling book called Paying for Long-Term Care. As any entrepreneur, I was trying to solve the problem that these families don't have any idea what to do or what to go through. I went through it with my stepfather. He lived in Louisville. I was in Kansas City, 8 hours away. I didn't know anything about his finances. I didn't know about Medicaid. I didn't know about, did he get VA aid and attendance benefits? What are we going to do with the house? Try with home health care, and then eventually realize that he needs 24-hour care, and quickly after 60 days moving him into assisted living and trying to research that and making sure that the families are having the great experience. We know there's some companies out there that do a lot of lead aggregation, and their practices are not the best for the family. We know the house can be the biggest asset for a family, and unlocking that equity in that house so they can pay for care is what we do at Mom's House. The other thing we realize and that we've experienced is that the stuff is almost as stressful as the house. The stuff, whether it's, we've got Artist Covington entering the room. Is that one of your other?
Artist is one of mine.
Okay, great. So we know the stuff, and dealing with the stuff can be very stressful for the family, and it can be crippling for them to make that move. The stuff almost causes more problems than the house because it's how much time do you need? When are we going to move mom in? What's that schedule look like? Well, we got to figure out what we're going to do with all the stuff. We're going to figure out what we're going to do with the house. And they just randomly put out 6 months. We're going to be ready in 6 months. We're not sure. Welcome, Artist.
Hello.
Bear with me for a second. My controls just locked out. So today, when the family gets the news and mom needs to move into senior living, the industry has had a challenge, and their default has been Well, let's call a real estate agent to go help that family to do something with the house. Senior living communities, that's been their default for 30 to 40 years. And in the senior living industry, I don't think really understood how challenging that is. There's a great book out there. It's called It's About Time by David Smith. David Smith was one of the co-founders of Sherpa, one of the largest CRMs in senior living. And he concludes that the house is really the competition for senior living. It's not other senior living locations. So this house is a really big piece, and the families sometimes don't know what to do with it. They think listing it is their only option. And so a real estate agent gets called, and the first thing the agent says is clean all this stuff out of the house because it looks like that, right? And no real estate agent is going to take photos, and they want to get the house ready. So they're going to do that. And the family says, okay, we're going to take care of that. How do we do that? And then the real estate agent says that maybe you could go and do a few things, check a few boxes as far as some things to make it more valuable. And that takes time, and good luck finding a contractor in a hot market. That's really difficult to do these days, and getting multiple bids and all those things, and getting that house ready to be listed and getting it on the MLS, getting it sold. Even in a hot market, that could take 3 or 4 months if you're going to do anything to the house. The other thing that the families don't realize is they don't want to rehab a house. They don't want to put money into it. And the reason that they don't, this is an authority in national data on remodeling. And the Remodeling Association says that the family is only recouping about 7 cents on the dollar. So they think if they put $30,000 into the house, they're going to get $30, $40, $50,000 of value. But that's just not the case. If you put $30,000 into a house, you're going to get about 66% of that on average back. So you might only get $20,000 of value, and you've added more timelines to do things to the house, the carpet, paint, whatever that may be, all those things. So this is what we're teaching senior living. This is what we're talking to the families about all over the country. I have the slide. So this is a great example of the cost versus value. The family were going out to spend $75,000 to do a bathroom model deck, replace an old roof and put new windows in to get it ready to sell, to get top dollar. They actually lose $25,000. They go backwards, and they don't realize that. And so us giving these tools and getting this data to the families and to the senior living industry is helping them understand. Because when you really look at the retail value on the left, you see that's the retail value. In the middle is the traditional, or the old way it was done by hiring a real estate agent. And with Mom's House and with the Mom's House Senior Transition Specialists, they can go out and purchase the house. Our senior transition specialists are actually buying the house. They're not real estate agents. So the difference is that when you use a real estate agent, there's going to be closing costs and commissions. That's that 6%. So if you have a house for a few $100,000, you immediately have a $12,000 expense, and it's coming out of the family's pocket for the sale of the house. Rehabbing and clean out expenses. And then while all that going on, it gets overlooked that there may be a mortgage on the house. There's maintenance, insurance, taxes, other carrying costs going on. And while all this is going on and we're putting it together to get the house ready, Mom may not be getting moved into care. We've had many of our transition specialists need to do a letter to a senior living industry community to say, yes, we're buying the house, and they wanted to see proof of funds to make sure that the family could afford moving in. So we're eliminating all of that stress and all of those things. And we're trying to help these families make the right choice. If you knew that your mother was only going to live for 28 months, would you be spending time with her, or do you need to be taking on a rehab project? And a lot of the families don't think of it that way because they're thinking they're going to get all this extra money, but they don't know about or realize all the additional expenses that we talked about in the previous slide. So with Mom's House and the transition specialist, the house can be sold in many times, it can be sold in 2 weeks. It's really kind of up to the family's timeline. And I'll talk a little bit about what that senior transition specialist network is. So at Mom's House, we train people that are real estate investors, people that actually buy houses to fix and flip, or that they're going to hold on to them as a rental property. Personally, I've been a real estate investor for 15 years. And my partner has as well. So we understand this very well. He's been doing this in senior living for over 10 years. I came out of senior living in another company before we formed Mom's House, and we teach. I actually had to step out of our class. Today's day 3 of our 3-day class. We do these once a month, and we have anywhere from 50 to 100 people fly into St. Louis, where our learning center is. We're teaching them. That's a great photo where we sponsor bingo. That was a January class. Things change the way things are done. Our offices are actually in an old mall, and that's the old food court, but they turned the mall into like a shared office space. So there's hundreds of businesses here and pickleball courts where Santa Claus used to be and the carousel. And so we've got this amazing space that we use to train, and these people come in and it's live and they can't do it virtually. And it's because we can't teach hugs and kisses virtually. We just can't. And the 3-day has nothing really to do with real estate. It has everything to do with the crisis mode that the family's going through. Almost every class, we have 2 or 3 people from the senior living industry dropping in for a day or 2, or even over the entire class, people that we have partnerships with or that want to experience what we're training. We're talking about all that stress the family's going through. We're talking about all the different personas and the different stakeholders that are in senior living, and getting people to be able to understand how they go out to go help people with the right heart condition, going out and treating them with empathy and dignity and helping these families. So we do that. We follow it up with continuing education and an online academy, and anybody can always come back and go through the course. Today we have about 850 senior transition specialists all over the country, and I think we're probably going to be well north of 1,500 by the end of the year. We're again 50 to 100 are coming through each month. We have lots of senior living industry people that are involved with our training. So we bring in expert speakers. Actually, Becky Bongiovanni has been one of those speakers, and we actually recorded that, and we show that many times because she talks about what's really going on and that we need a bigger boat, and how are we going to handle all the baby boomers that are coming at us and helping these families that are going through a really tough time. Just a couple of things to recap. This is not a network of real estate agents. Again, the industry has solved or tried to solve this problem with families through real estate agents. We just think that there's a better experience. And the great thing is that this can just be another option for you when you're working with families. So when you have a family that's looking to sell their house or they need to unlock that equity to move into senior living, we can be there as a resource to help them do that, side by side with you, coming to the family with solutions. There's many times that we may have a transition specialist, a placement agent, and an elder law attorney, and the care community all working in concert to help the family to make that that transition. And just to be clear, we're not in the stuff business. We don't really deal with the stuff, but we've surrounded all of our senior transition specialists with lots of resources that help with the stuff. Companies like Caring Transitions or estatesales.net, and we have Blue Moon. We just had a call with them week before last. Thank you for that, Alex. And it makes a lot of sense, and we just want to bring the right resources in when we have families that need help, including if they are needing to look for a community. We certainly can make those introductions to your care patrol care advisors. So we'll take care of all the stuff. There's no fees to the family at all. There's no fees to the placement agent. There's no fees to the care community. It's just a service that we come in, and these people will come out, meet with the family face to face, make an offer to purchase the house, and can close in a matter of weeks. And houses as is. So there's not a lot of things that are contingent on inspections. The closings happen very fast, and we do this all over the country. And the neat thing is that, as you know, many of those adult children live somewhere else in the United States. And so we've got such a mesh and coverage everywhere. It's very easy for us to get a referral from somebody in Pennsylvania that has a mom that lives in Florida. And so they need to sell a house in Florida, and they're moving mom to Pennsylvania where the adult children live, or vice versa. So that works out really well. This is all about, our North Star is compassion. It's about how do we help these families in a time. Daughter Judy has no idea what's going on. They're not prepared for it. You guys deal with it every day, so I know you know what I'm talking about. And bringing an option or a solution to the family that takes all the stress related to the house and the stuff with no fees to the family and helping mom get into care months faster, and just taking all that burden, stress away from daughter Judy and the other siblings. So you had the ability to refer a family to us. I know this is going to be in Compass and with some other information. So you had the ability to refer a family to us, and it needs to come to us at the corporate office. And the reason why is because we want to make sure some people buy houses in some zip codes and some don't buy in others. And so we'll get that assigned. As soon as we get that, it'll get assigned within minutes. And then that person, that senior transition specialist, will follow up with the family. The other thing we're doing is we're building in some systems and some feedback loops to be able to give you guys a heads up on where things are with the family. Yes, we were able to go out, and yes, we were able to go out and purchase the house and let you know what's going on so we can keep you in the loop. So in Compass, you'll be able to find presentations, PDFs, other things that on how to work with us and how to interact with us. I know we're excited to be sponsoring the upcoming conference in Orlando. So I'm looking forward to meeting everybody there, and our team will be there. So just a kind of side by side of the value prop and what we're bringing to the table. There may be times that a real estate agent is a perfect fit for the family. The house is in perfect condition, and I know the real estate market is hot right now. But if it's not, or the family's from out of town and they just don't want to have people through the house and they want to get the house sold fast, we can help do that in weeks. Sometimes you have problem houses. This is for houses of any amount. We have $1 million homes that get purchased as is because the family values time over money, and they just are focused on getting mom the best care. Our senior transition specialists are buying houses that are empty because mom already moved. So we would love to help you guys just do more business with your existing families. We can help you to open up that pipeline of families that may be out shopping or may be hesitant because of the house and the stuff. And we'd love to just be sitting side by side with you guys as an option. So yeah, I'll pause here for some questions. And again, I'm going to be seeing here in a few weeks along with our team. And thank you so much. That's contact information on the screen. That's Liz. She is our program manager. So you can email Liz directly. If you email me directly, it's Ben at Mom's House, but you need to copy Liz to make sure it gets into our system so we get it assigned right away. Thank you so much. Look forward to working with you guys. You guys want to do some questions and have them be recorded, or?
If there's no, I mean, the presentation was good. I mean, again, when we had talked about this, it is really concise. The question I probably would have is just that they may have just how the process really works of just handing it off, and then, so that way, they're able to manage expectations of, you kind of covered at high level, but that'd probably be the one question is like, hey, how does the process really work once it's, what do they have to do other than just refer it? And that's pretty much it. And then you're going to take it and run from there.
Yeah, we are. The things that we need is obviously any of our referral partners, the families say, hey, we've got a resource that can help you with the house and the stuff. Would you like an introduction to Mom's House? They say yes. That's what we consider to be, an opt-in and somebody that has intention and interested. We 99% of the time we're working with daughter Judy. We're not working with the senior. Maybe the transition specialist that's local sees the senior if they need to close or they need to sign something if the daughter doesn't have POA. We need the address, city and state, because that's how we track to know which transition specialist it's going to go through. So just getting the daughter Judy contact information, name, email, address of the home. We'd love to have the senior's name, and just that is good enough for us. We'll get it assigned. And the transition specialists are going to contact them. It may not be same day, but it'll definitely be next day if it's not same day.
Hi, this is Artis. Do y'all have, I guess I did, because I came out a little late, the transition specialists, are they in every town or
Yes,
mean, or?
they are. Right now, we have about 850 transition specialists all over the country. So we definitely cover every major market, and I would be highly surprised if we don't have coverage in every market where you guys have a franchise.
Yeah, I'm saying because I'm not surprised because I'm in an area that's pretty remote. So, I'm just curious, for.
Sure. So the one thing that's interesting about real estate investors, they're not selling the house, they're buying it. They're not going to go out and list it to go do that. And because of that, they tend to have a tendency to cover a greater geographical area too, meaning that somebody might work with a family that's an hour away to go purchase that house and go meet with them and go there, drive an hour and a half, spend 2 hours with the family and drive back because they're buying the house. A real estate agent's not going to do that. They're just not going to go that far. They're going to stay in their own local market. So because of that, that just extends the coverage. It's much more powerful than 850, and we're adding 50 to 100 of those a month. I just stepped out of our 3-day for a few minutes to do this, and so we have a really full class. There's almost 85 people in our training center today.
Okay.
Parker, do you have any questions for me?
No, the one question I was gonna ask, Artist asked, so
Okay, great.
we're on the same wavelength.
We can go ahead.
I was gonna ask about what makes you different from a Mark Spain or somebody like that. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Mark Spain, but he's in several markets in the Southeast, advertising quick to close, all cash offers.
Sure. I tell you, there's a pretty big difference, and that is, the investor world kind of has a bad rap that investors are sharks, right? And you've got a lot of people that are out advertising as is cash buyer. Look at me, pictures on Lambos and Ferraris and the life. The average age in our class is over 55, and these people are somehow connected they've been touched by senior living in some way. So this 3-day class is nothing about real estate that we teach in the training. It's all about daughter Judy, how we need to approach them, how we need to hold their hand and take care of them and what's going on, and to do the right thing and have the right heart condition. And our branding and what we do between our values and mission just attracts a really different group of people. A lot of times there's power couples. You might have somebody, that's somebody that's a nurse and somebody that's a real estate investor, somebody that's a elder law attorney and their spouse is a real estate investor, or hospice chaplain and a real estate investor in our last class. So we're attracting a really unique crowd of people that care.
But somebody does have knowledge of the real estate side of it.
Oh yes, these are professional real estate investors that are looking to do something that's more meaningful besides just transactional real estate and houses. Yes, some of our students do several hundred houses a year. Kind of a low-end student might only be doing 1 or 2 a month. So it's kind of all over the place. And then we have a huge stable of resources that we provide to our entire network all over the country, as far as additional training, 3 mentoring calls a month. We do deal reviews with them if they need help, just all of those different things. We really set out to disrupt what we think was not the best. I'm sure you guys have all heard of iBuyers, right? The things like a Zillow or Lighthouse, or the companies that are buying online.
Mm-hmm.
That's a terrible experience for the families too, because it's kind of a bait and switch. It's in a lot of ways, it's kind of like a place for mom. They don't know what they're getting into. They've opted into something, and now somebody's giving them an offer over the phone, and they think that's the offer. But then there's an inspection, and somebody comes out, and now the offer went from 175 to 135. In 2 weeks, and the family thinks, oh, my house is already sold, I'm all ready to go. It's just, we are anti-iBuyer.
Okay. So how can you get, with the real estate market the way it is, as crazy as it is,
Mhm.
and everybody trying to buy a house and
Yeah,
all of that,
yeah.
how can you guarantee a quick to close? And that may be my ignorance of the real estate.
No, that's okay. That's a great question. That's a great question, Parker. The reason that they're quick to close is because real estate investors, they're actually buying the house. It's not like an agent that's listing it and the buyer's coming that can fall apart. They're coming to the table and say, Parker, I'll buy your house or I'll buy your mother's house and I can pay $200,000 and I can close as soon as you want to because I'm paying cash and I can close on the house right away.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's really amazing. We knew we were onto something good when we started the company. We didn't realize how big it was going to be. So, I mean, we work for all the major placement agents. We work with care communities, elder law attorneys, quite a few different technologies in the senior living space. I think last month we more than 1,000 families. I think that's going to quickly get to almost 5,000 families for mid-year, just based on some relationships and some contracts and things we're working on. So we know it's a good thing. We know we're onto a good thing, and hopefully we can help you guys as coaches with the franchise you're working with. They just need to understand. Cool. The family has a real estate agent they may want to do something with, or we could be another option. We're going to sit on the same side of the table as you guys and just help to work with that family and daughter Judy to try to do the best we can for them.
Okay.
Always happy to jump on another call or do a Zoom if anybody. We do some open office hour type things where, I'll just be available for an hour and anybody can come in. Or if either of you are doing some trainings and you've got a big group of people in your region or that you got them gathered for some reason to come in and speak for 5 or 10 minutes during one of those calls, happy to do that. I'm sure we're going to meet here, down the 8th and 9th at your conference. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get a lot of questions at the conference that we got artists and I haven't thought of.
Yeah, I'm sure you get some more in there. I guess that was one of my big concerns. It's just like, for like in the remote areas, like in, New Mexico, southern New Mexico. I don't know if y'all have theirs, or the far west Texas part of El Paso, and
actually we've got a great, so this is a good example of, so we've got a real estate investor and we have these personas that we teach in class. They're called crock pots and vases. So a crock pot, like investor, that's a numbers person, they're transactional, and the vases are these loving, caring people that want to network and want to work with the families and want to work with senior living professionals. We have one of the biggest crock pots in our entire program is in El Paso. He hired 2 vases because we teach crock pots to hire vases. Those vases are the ones that are outward facing for the brand and working with the families. He hired 2 vases, and both those vases became ombudsmen as well. So we're part of the senior living industry. This is not a real estate play. It just happens to be, it's part of the solution. It's part of that real estate, part of that senior living sales process for communities when they have a family moving in.
Okay. And so when you say buy as is, like I said, the home, if furniture and everything that needs to be cleaning out. I mean, do you?
No, that's
part. You mentioned. I guess so you don't actually do the cleaning or the selling of the properties in there, but you will partner with someone.
We will. We will. So it's part of that lifting that burden off. If let's say that you could buy a house and the house is worth $50,000 to buy it, $100,000, whatever that number is. We can say to the family, look, take what you want out of the house, and anything that you don't want, you can just leave it behind and we'll take care of it. Sometimes we may change the offer. It may be, okay, the house is worth 100. We're going to offer 98 for the house and $2,000 for the stuff, just because we know that daughter Judy, her brother is questioning, what do you mean you sold the house for 100 with all the stuff? They just took all our stuff. It's like this emotional mind game that the families are going through. You guys deal with it every day. I mean, it's just, it's what we call a crisis, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you guys are more than welcome to come to our class anytime that you'd like to, or come in for part of a class or a day. You have to come live though. but you're more than welcome to come in. They're in St. Louis and we do them once a month. And I would love to have you guys in. You really understand, the brand we're building and our mission and foundational values of how we do this.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Good info.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for that. Alex, we'll get this cleaned up and we'll cut the front off where you and I were talking and cut it at the end of the presentation. Unless you guys think it would be valuable to leave this on for the questions you asked and we can just come it.
You can probably leave the questions. I mean, it's
Okay.
good for people
Sounds
to
good.
kind of, they think of it after the fact. Oh, that's a great question. I already talked to her as you were presenting. I was messaging Alyssa. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get the recording. This could be good for training. She's like, oh yeah, no. So we're definitely gonna get this out to the masses for sure.
That's great.
And we'll definitely. I know Becky's excited about you guys coming to conference. And
Yep.
then the numbers are looking good for the amount of people we're gonna. There's over 200 people coming, so they're
Great.
excited about that. So yeah.
And do you need a short, like 2-minute video as well to put in Compass? Is that right?
So yes, so any type of video you have, we can add to Compass. Shorter the better. I mean, again, just so some people are going to want to read the information. Some people, they can just watch it, like a quick recap, just because in the end, for me, I want them just to reach out because it's and that's you're not selling it off the video. It's going to be like, okay, you need to tell me more. How does this 'cause in the end. Just like in advertising, you just want them to call or reach out to really have the good conversation.
Yep.
So yeah, whenever you have that ready, it could be general. It doesn't have to be brand specific. If you want to make it brand specific, it can be brand specific.
Well, I mean, you and I started the call at like 5 minutes till 1, and I don't even think we got to the presentation till at least 5 minutes after. I looked at the clock. It was 1:22 when I was done. This whole presentation that I did, at least without the questions, is probably only 14, 15, maybe 16 minutes, I'll bet.
I'm not opposed to putting that on there too.
Okay, yeah, let us get it pulled together. We'll get it to you. Probably won't be this week. It'll be early next week, but we'll get it to you. And do we have Liz, do we have a list of Care Patrol franchisees and care advisors? Do we have that list already? Alex?
Yeah, we have an older one that I cleaned up that was in MailChimp, but Alex, if you could email me a new list, that would be great.
Yeah, no, they're actually working on that right now because we had some people had dropped off. We had some new ones come in, so they're cleaning that up. Actually, all the brands are doing that right now. So yeah. So the minute I have that, I will get that over to you for sure.
That'd be great.
Okay, awesome.
And then
right.
you'll be getting an email regarding conference specifics. If there's anything within the next, if not by Friday, probably by Monday. Just general.
Sounds good.
information.
Is there, will that list have physical addresses on them? We'd like to mail them a copy of my book.
I will see what I can do as far as getting that. But
Yeah, if you have that, we'll mail a copy of the book to each one of them.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
That's good. Thanks, Alex.
All right. Take care.
Thanks,
Appreciate the
Alex.
time.
You too.